Developing in Washington, a Trump administration freeze on federal funding has been temporarily blocked. Within the past hour, a federal judge halted a plan that would have temporarily cut off funding to a number of nonprofits and non-government organizations. Before that ruling came down, many local organizations spent the day scrambling, trying to figure out how to go forward with uncertain funding. Jordan Yaney has been looking into this for us. So Jordan, where do things stand right now?
Well, Rob, things are kind of at a standstill now, but that hasn't done much for the confusion many people are feeling. Before the temporary block, many organizations I talked to thought the memo on the spending freeze was vague and confusing. Well, it sounds like the federal judge agrees, saying it seems like the federal government currently doesn't actually know the full extent of the programs that are going to be subject to the pause. Now, that temporary pause lasts until Monday. Prior to that, the spending freeze was set to take effect at 4 p.m. today, leaving many nonprofits in the dark about their budgets going forward.
It has the potential of being absolutely devastating.
Devastating is how one tri-state nonprofit describes the now paused federal funding freeze. Others used words like confusion and uncertainty. But despite their feelings, with the potential for federal dollars to be cut off as soon as Monday, many essential nonprofit organizations could face funding nightmares.
If we lost all of our federal funding here at Tri-State Food Bank, that would account for 37% of our budget.
Glenn Roberts says the Tri-State Food Bank serves roughly 100,000 people each year, distributing 16 million pounds of food. If the freeze becomes a long-term thing, they could face food insecurity challenges.
Hunger is a daily thing. You know, you can't miss meals. It is a basic necessity.
Other organizations are also seeking clarity. The area's leading homeless organization, Aurora, says 65% of last year's budget was made up of federal funding.
Moving forward, that uncertainty, adds an added layer of stress to what's already difficult work.
And for a city the size of Evansville, losing out on federal funds could impact transportation, roads, sidewalks, housing, and more. Mayor Stephanie Terry says the city projects to utilize between 40 and 50 million federal dollars in 2025.
We'll pivot when it's necessary, but make sure that we're doing the best that we can to make sure that the services that this city is responsible for providing go forth.
And with little clarity on what kind of organizations will lose out on funding or how long the freeze will last, impacted groups are hoping for as much clarity as possible as soon as possible.
We need to have more information. We need to know what this is really going to look like over the next few weeks.
Well, the freeze also has the potential to impact education. Our local universities are working to figure out how this might affect their funding. We have statements from both UE and USI available right now on 14news.com.